What's blazing? 64 grams, dollar bill. They call me Hocus 4/5, said I'm from Castle Hill. I heard some homies in the building where my niggas at. I heard some Moets in the building where my bitch at. All my niggas murder and they go hard. 130, this a roll call. And I run my city. I said I love my Billy.
What's good, y'all? We here down the rabbit hole with 4/5. I got my co-host in the building, Balance. What's up, Balance? What's up, Balance?
I'm good. How are you today? I'm happy to be here.
Me too, man. I'm good, man. I can't complain. You know, this is episode 1 of Down the Rabbit Hole with 4/5. Wow.
Excited. So excited. This is long overdue because we've been needing you out here in these streets forever.
Yeah, and rather than go live, I need to do this daily more often. I know everybody been telling me, so I'm finally taking it serious, and you know I'm gonna bring y'all the rabbit hole. We're gonna deep into the rabbit hole every single time. And right now, what we're gonna start off with, these men in these skirts, man. These men in these skirts. You want to start from a female perspective first? You want to start how you feel about this, man?
Yeah, you know what? I'll start. But I just wanted to take a deep breath first because it bothered me. It bothered me. Me and my girls, we had long discussions about this, all right? And we talked about it, we cried about it, we laughed about it, but mostly we were saddened by it because where we grew up, how we grew up, we're used to very masculine men, dominant men, loving men. And when we see this, it feels like something's wrong. It's a detachment. It's not the same. I don't feel like that's something I can respect if I see a man in a skirt or a dress. I don't feel like that's something I'm attracted to. I don't like it. It confuses me. And then the color hair too, all of it confuses me.
Look at this.
And I wouldn't even wear anything like that personally as a woman.
Oh.
So seeing a man wear it, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I know I don't have sons yet, but if I did, I don't want them to see this, period. I don't want them to see it on TV, at their school, anywhere. And that's how we really feel. All of us have the same opinion. So I haven't met one woman that said we like that. Period. Period.
That's
20s,
big.
30s, 40s. I have not met one woman that said that's dope, that's cute, that's attractive. No. We're all disgusted by it. It's an agenda behind it. And I want to know why. I want us to talk about it. So
that's exactly what we're gonna do tonight. And we brought a special guest up here to talk about it. A man of a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. This is my brother. You know, he always on the live with us down the rabbit hole. Since last year, we've been going hard together. He's in the waiting room. I'm gonna bring him in right now. Hold on. We got somebody special to talk about this.
yes.
We got my bro, Minnesota.
Yes. Happy to have him.
Yeah, because, you know, for me, it's like, you know, if this is what you want to do, like, you know, okay, cool. Like, we ain't really judging people. We are judging the push that's being pushed on our kids. Like, we judging that. Like, you know, this agenda being pushed on our kids. That's what we judge and say, no, we don't want that for our kids. We know, we understand that it's an agenda going on. We calling it out. Simple and plain. Do what you want to do with your life, but at the end of the day, don't be a part of the agenda, man. But we got my bro Minnesota, and he gonna break it down on a scientific level why what we saying is facts, and we're not just pinpointing and bullying nobody or trying to come at anybody. Minnie, what up, boy?
What it is, home team?
We here, man. You know, we here. This is the first episode of Down the Rabbit Hole with 4/5 with my co-host Balance. She's in the building. We got you as the first guest. You know, as we should. And you know, we got some questions for you, man. I know you got a lot of knowledge on this topic. We got some questions. The people got some questions. We need some answers, bro.
Okay. So I mean, shoot from the hip, man. Where you want me to start?
All right. So, you know, a lot of people, what they're gonna say is when we talk about this topic is like they've been in my DMs talking about, oh, this is a kilt, or they'll make an excuse saying, oh, men been dressing like this for years in skirts. Oh, there ain't no agenda. Leave people alone. Oh, no, wait. One person said what they said. Oh, that's what I see. This is what one black female said. She said, I see a man comfortable in his skin. I don't know what y'all see. Comfortable in it. No, I'm comfortable in my skin. He's not comfortable in his skin. That's why he got to throw a skirt on. I'm comfortable in my skin as a masculine man. So what do you got to say to those people?
Oh man, well, all right. Let me start here, Hocus. And this is this is ill because first and foremost, I want to say I'm going to speak first and foremost on my mother's sexuality, right? And my mother has been in a lifestyle, since around the time my father died years ago when I was 13 years old. And my mother, for the most part, is one of the original ones. You know what I'm saying? She's not like, bootleg, because she looks at it now. And when we talked about it, she was like, I don't understand this. What the fuck is going on? And my mother's conscious, so I had to explain to her what was going on. And I had to explain to her why she is the way she is. Okay, let's go. In 1941, either 1941 or 1947, y'all gotta excuse me. I'm gonna do the best that I can do with this. And I have a theory that has never been brought forth before that I'm gonna bring forth tonight and what I feel about this. In 1941 or 47, when they started doing the census in America, they found out that our birthing, our growth was going to surpass them and wipe them out in 150 years. So with that knowledge, they took on and they got funding and got the incentives to create things that would bring melanated birth rates down. So one of the first things that they did was create something called Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood comes out of eugenics. And anybody who doesn't know what the word eugenics means, if a person is a eugenics, it's in eugenics, like Mr. Gates or Margaret Sanger or Charles Davenport. It's selection of species. It is the master race. It is it's covert ways of killing millions. It's not about killing one. It's not about killing 10. It's about killing millions. So, and killing millions in covert ways where people are actually volunteering for the murder of their own or their babies. It's a subvert genocide. So, to make a long story shorter, when they discovered this, they implemented a few plans that they could use to halt or slow melanated birth rates, which they call us. You can Google this. They call us useless eaters, and they call us human weeds. So they wanted to stop the growth of a particular population because they're like, yo, they're gonna wipe us out. So they have these code words now, like global warming. Oh God, bear with me. Global warming is one of the code. Climate change, global darkening, and global darkening is global darkening, if you understand what I mean. So let's fast forward 80 years later. I know we're seeing men getting slain in the street by race soldiers or the fraternal order, but the real work is being done on us through the Health and Hospitals Corporation. This is where the real work is being done. This is where, we're having hundreds of thousands of deaths a year, more so in our communities. And they say we don't have the resources, but what it really is we're eating fake food. So let me come back a little bit. What's going on now, and what has happened is these institutions are all together on halting melanated birth rates and shortening lifespans. One goal is to stop the birth rate to attack the sperm. The second goal is to shorten lifespans. Now, when I was a child, everybody lived to 105. I met my great-grandmother, everybody lived to 105. Now, motherfuckers is kicking the door at 30, 40, and 50 years old. That's old now. You're done. So, another thing that I discovered was most ailments, if you look up the medical terminology of the ailment, it has a patent. You cannot patent anything that occurs naturally in nature.
Absolutely.
99.9%, I don't give a fuck if it's pneumonia. I don't give a fuck if it's chlamydia. I don't give a fuck if it's cancer. I don't give a fuck if it's herpes. I don't give a fuck if it's AIDS. I don't give a fuck if it's the covert identification AI that we're dealing with right now. They all have patents. And when this shit first popped off and I came on Hocus's platform, I discovered that on justeer.com that there was a patent for the thing that we're dealing with now, and it was funded by the Pirbright Institute, and the Pirbright Institute was funded by Mr. G. So anyway, to make a long story shorter, back to what I was saying, now as we get into the agenda that's being pushed on children, this is the thing. They are being used. Let's call them the Pop-Tarts, or let's call them the Soy Boys or the Cherry Crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are being used. They are being used because, and they don't even notice. And you know, I got a cousin, and out of all of the boys in the family, we got one cousin that's down with the Soy Boys, right? And we went at it like two Thanksgivings ago in my family's house in the Bronx. We went at it, and my family ain't shit. They enjoyed it. And he was like, all I want to know is what happened to you? Why you so against us? So the thing that I found, that spirit, that demeanor, they have majority of them don't have consciousness in them. So they're great to use. They have no knowledge. They don't understand. And when I was telling him, you are the way you are because the chemicals affect you. It's the same way. It's the same way as jabs. Jabs give some kids autism, and then jabs, there's a lot of us that get past it without being affected by that, but we'll have a health problem later on in our years because of the antigen. Pops open, we get sick. So the antigens are metals used to hold the bacteria. So antigens are aluminum, mercury, you know, they're the different medical compounds that hold the stuff in the jab and then open up at different times in your body.
Yeah.
So back to the soy boy curse, or whatever the case may be. There were two powerful chemicals that were introduced into our communities. One starting in like 1941 or 1947 after they did the census, and the other one was implemented in 1999. The one that was implemented in 1941 in the rims of all canned foods, because they didn't master getting it better. It was called BPA. BPA is bisphenol A. This is all scientifically proven. This is all scientifically documented. So what BPA is it is synthetic estrogen. Now, the chemicals that make a man are, oh God, what testosterone? Testosterone. What makes you ready to fight and wrestle and get crazy when the girls come around. And the thing that makes a woman have breasts, the thing that makes a woman emotional is estrogen. So since the year of 1941, it was in the rims of our canned food. So that created our aunties and our uncles and our mothers and our fathers that may be quote unquote in the lifestyle, in the original, because the older people call it the lifestyle. So, you know, they were infected with the soy back then, right? So in 1991, they mastered the chemical and they put it in all hard plastics. And they recently put it in all receipts. Like when you get your receipt, I was in the juice bar on 125th and Madison with my man Asha, the owner of Jalakova, and we was in there one day, and the girl came with dreads, and he went to hand up the receipt. She was like, no, I don't want to touch it. She was like, put it in the bag. I don't want to touch the plastic. So, you know, we was like, yeah, that's crazy, bitch. Like, you know, you know, we looking at it like, you know, and the kind of person I am, I started looking at what's wrong with plastic. And something started to jump out at me because I'm like that. I wanted to know why that girl didn't want to touch plastic because she looked like she wasn't crazy, but it was crazy just the way that she took offense to plastic and touching it. So I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with her? So I start looking.
But the receipt is paper though, Minnie, not plastic, right?
No, receipts, paper, the ink. Oh, like people are getting these tattoos.
Oh, okay, the ink.
The ink.
Okay.
These people are getting tattoos. They are loaded with bisphenol A. They're loaded with BPA. The receipts, when you touch them, anything that touches your skin can go into it in 26 seconds or 4 seconds. You're getting small amounts of BPA when you touch the thing. So now what's happening is, if you don't turn into a full soy boy, the whole world has kind of like soy innuendos because men will stand by and watch a woman get beat up and won't do nothing. That is a sign of soy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a sign of soy. Men will watch a sister get dragged and won't jump in. That's a sign of soy. It's happening because there's no consequences for it now. So, you know, they're like, yo, you won't protect the black woman and this and that. And then you have a ferocious black woman because they already have estrogen in them. They have estrogen. Yeah. Women are already estrogen. So when they get overloaded with synthetic estrogen, women are starting to have higher testosterone levels. So now you're having a woman that's going to jump up in a man's face, think they could fight him, all kind of shit. So with that, I want to say that this abnatural nature that's happening to us is not us, but our hormones and our DNA is being flipped around. So now you have an aggressive black woman that's gonna be like, what you want to do? She's gonna try and stab you. She's gonna break your car windows. I bust the windows out your car. All of that because the women are being put in a place of testosterone because they are already estrogen. They're being overloaded. So the war is being fought inside. So now to add on to that, now you have another chemical that we're being bombarded with. We brush our teeth. It goes into our glands on our tongue when we're brushing our teeth, or every time we take a shower. And now that chemical, and everybody can research that, is called atrazine, Atrizine. So what atrazine does is it turns male DNA to female DNA and female DNA into male DNA. So I'm going to be the first one to ever say this. And this is an assumption. I could really, really, really be wrong on this. But with the behaviors that we've seen and more hermaphrodites being born, I think that when a man gets with a woman and gets a woman pregnant, when before the fetus becomes an embryo, or you know what I'm saying, when the sperm hooks up with the egg, the first thing that egg is female. And then sometimes it develops into a male. Right. So I think that two things are even happening now due to the fact that women have so much BPA inside of them. And this BPA is also causing fibroids. All the black women's got fibroids in them now.
Say that.
Due to this estrogen. What I think is happening, since we're dealing with a chemical that turns male DNA into female DNA, and atrazine was found to turn the frogs. It was found to turn male frogs into females and females into males. So you put this chemical in human beings on a microscopic level, and what we're seeing now is a lot of children are being born into the lifestyle. They're born, I was born this way. No, you weren't. You were chemically induced that way.
Ooh, yes.
Chemicals that are being flushed through this, So what I'm saying is that behavior, that lifestyle is not normal. It's chemically induced. So while we're distracted and we're watching black men being pulled over by the police and shot, and I want to say that murder is the new distraction. The fraternal order is out there. Absolutely. Down, and that's to keep the headline fresh. So you don't ever venture off into these things. So now what's happening is people are saying, "Oh, I was born this way, this and that," and then the mothers now, like let me tell you something. In Toys R Us, most of us go to Babies R Us, Toys R Us, and we get our bottles, right? When we found out about these chemicals and we pitched a bitch about it, and when the white folks pitched a bitch along with us, now they make BPA-free bottles. And the only reason they stopped is because we fucking caught them and pitched a bitch about it. And especially the white people like, yo, wait a minute. I don't want no estrogen in my baby. So now you got regular plastic bottles, allegedly, without BPA in them. And who knows, you know, they control it. So they're probably letting a certain amount slip through that still have BPA in them. So this is why when we were younger, the elders was like, oh, I don't drink out of plastic.
Yeah.
We kind of knew something was wrong with it. Like, nah, we let glass break, sweep that shit up. That's it. Cut your foot, whatever you're gonna do. But a lot of the elders don't fuck with plastic, if you notice it. You know, so now here's my theory. My theory is when the sperm hits the egg, the first thing is it's female, and then it has to develop into a male. But I think what's happening is it's female, it develops into a male, and then it's turning back into a female because of the atrazine. That's ATRI, because this is what it did with frogs. So now you have a black woman that's ready to box your fucking head off because she originally in the womb was a boy. So she got a lot of boyish organs in her, but she's turned back into a girl. But we looking at them fighting in Miami, this was never the behavior. This shit stemmed from the 90s up to now. This was never behavior. And we got to ask ourselves, what changed? So why they're putting the money behind the movement, why television is pushing the movement, why everybody is behind the movement, and it's this movement that now they're training men, the internet, they're training men, you can't speak or you can't say this. We can say whatever the fuck we want. And I'm saying this to say that. Be mindful that the men got to start talking again. The conscious sisters have to start talking again.
Yeah.
And we've been taught, like, we're not speaking now about issues that are detrimental to our future and our offspring and our children, because look, my son, right? I stay on him. I don't know how they're doing it. It could be these chemicals. I stay on him and I teach him. This is like an everyday thing. Like, oh shit, look at that. That ain't right. Oh shit, that was a dude. He's like, Dad, that was a guy? I was like, I'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, ugh. So another thing I did in my house, we watch DVDs. I could get Netflix, I could get cable. I don't fuck with it. Because the third parent for years in the household, the babysitter is the TV set. So why the fuck now, every time your child watches TV, they got to turn their head, or it's a scene with two Pop-Tarts kissing or some soy boys doing. Every movie it's a program. And, you know, people don't look at it, but what you watch on TV turns out to be like your psychological food. You know, people aren't really reading like that anymore. It's only, you know, we are an endangered 1% of heterosexual critical thinkers because we're being pushed into such a bad place. So the reason that they fund that movement, because that movement is the population, because soy boys and testosterone girls are terminal humans. That bus pulls into the station and that's it. That bus is not going to breed another bus. So this is why all the money is in it. The money is not in it because I love them, or like, you got to really think. Growing up in the hood, Hocus, you still there?
Yeah, y'all can't see me?
Okay,
Yeah,
I can see you now. But growing up in the hood, I can't remember one Pop-Tart getting murdered because they was a Pop-Tart.
That's a fact.
Now, I remember in Soundview, we had one dude that went to school with us, and his name was Daryl, and he left the hood and he came back and he was Bodasia in Soundview. And he was the first of his kind. So everybody knew Daryl, and niggas in the projects. Nobody beat him up or nothing, but we would see him coming in and out the building with his European tricks, and somebody might launch a bottle or be like, "Get out of here." But there was never a night where people from the neighborhood ganged up on him and attacked him because he was into his lifestyle. So this whole thing of people saying, "Yo, you're homophobic," you got to understand this. Phobia of something means you fear it and you're scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
So no one is that's another misnomer and a way of teaching us how to think, because no one is afraid of the pop talk community. You know what I'm saying? Nobody actually gives a fuck. It's just like they passed a bill for Asian hate crimes and somebody just blew the doors off of that. Like, yo, no Asians were attacked. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, these people are coming at us on a scientific level. They're training us not to not speak. And also what I would say with the pop talk community, the cherry community, the soy boy community is they're using them. If today or tomorrow the soy boy community say, you know what? I'm gonna do like Minnie's mother did. I'm gonna have children, then I'm gonna go back to a soy boy. They would turn that shit into a felony. All funding would disappear. You know what? I wanna see my likeness. Let me get with a girl and have 5 children, and then I'm gonna go back to being a soy boy. They would outlaw that shit. That shit would be a felony. They would lose all funding if they started breeding. But they're behind it because it doesn't breed. Now let's go to Mr. Gates. He did a talk on TED Talks called Innovation Zero. It was the most eloquent speech I heard on genocide, eugenics, and mass murder in my life. And all he said was, the name of it was Innovation is Zero. He said, we got to get these numbers down. So the bigger push with this is, I just want to say, one of the reasons that you can't prove conspiracy and you really look like a conspiracy theorist and you really look like a complete asshole when you start talking about this stuff is because there are think tanks, there are master houses, think tanks, and then there are houses under them that take directives. And what I mean by that is the people who are engaged in these conspiracies don't know that they work together. They don't even know each other. So how can it be a conspiracy if we don't even know about it? We're just doing our job and we don't work together. Mm-hmm. So you have the Atrazine industry, which goes into all operating faucet water and shower water, right? You have the plastic industry. And now you have the water that you have water like, can I say the soda company's water or no?
Yeah.
Well, the soda company, Coca-Cola's water is Dasani. And they have the sodium chloride and all that shit in it. So you drink it and you don't get hydrated, you get thirstier. You have those industries. You have Hollywood getting the directives, and their directives is, yo, look, in the 90s, it was take every macho man you got and put a dress on them.
Yeah.
When you go back to the 90s, the directives was have these niggas on record saying the word bitch a lot. So I never understood what the old timers meant when they say, hey man, y'all calling the woman bitches on record. I never understood what they meant, but that was something it was said, but it was said in the house during arguments. It wasn't said on records. It wasn't said outside of the house. NWA brung bitch outside. You know what I'm saying? NWA brung the word bitch outside. Unbeknownst to them, it started the initial outside rift between melanated men and melanated women. Because I didn't know, it seemed natural, the word bitch, but Too Short, bitch, that's my favorite word. We didn't know, but that was said in the house, like you stupid bitch. That was said in the house. It wasn't said outside. NWA brung bitch outside. That even though they didn't know what they were doing, this is how think tanks work. To reach a common goal, if you separate men and women, you're going to have children out of wedlock. You're going to have a home. When they remove the man from the home, see, scientifically, women were not meant to raise their boys in a home alone without a father. There's chemicals being, there's a formula. You know, the daughter's got to see how the mother treats the man. The son's got to see how the father treats the woman. And this has been severed out of the household. So now you got a bunch of bitch assness going on. You know what I'm saying? You have a huge amount of bitch assness going on. You got guys getting caught. They tell, yeah, they looked at macho, they had muscles, they had scars, but deep down inside, you know, we know women, shit, they're really women engaging in man sport.
Ooh.
The majority of the men out here now, they really are women engaging in things they have no business engaging in.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out, you know, and I'm not gonna go deep into me and Hocus's criminal history, but I've been outside around men who got mad at a nigga because he drove by in a nice car and really was like, yo, next time I see that nigga, it's a problem. Like, these niggas start acting like the bitch with the Coach bag around the girls with the Gucci bags when they see you with something nice. So there is a whole new man out here that is a female.
Mm.
There's a whole new, so the woman are picking a guy because he looks nice, but this nigga, you dating a woman, sis.
Mm.
You dating a whole woman with muscles, and you wondering why he's like that, and he treats you like shit because he's a fucking girl.
The fact that I have this experience is sad, so I can't even. I can tell
Do you want to elaborate on it?
And now the same thing goes. True. And now the fellas is dating the girl. She's calling the cops on you and throwing bottles at you, trying to hit you with pots and pans, and she's cheating on you like a dude because the women are dudes. So now the picking process, we're left to, and I've experienced my share of shit. It's for me now. It's about peace of mind and anti-stupidity. If I got to take a gun to the club, that party, I'm not going to it.
Right. If
I feel like I don't want to be around Shaniqua and Tyrone. Mm-hmm. We have I started a chat on Facebook for like-minded thinkers, and the fact checkers are in there. They're getting crazy with us, but it's called double segregation. It's called the Black Think Tank / double segregation. And I say Black Think Tank because we're trying to come up with solutions, and we're not posting our conscious shit on our regular pages no more. This is a group chat for the like-minded. And out of my 5,000 friends, I was only able to bring in 51 people that I knew that made sense. Now, the group is not big. It's up to 220-something people now, but it's all like-minded, and we getting our shit off, and the information is there. And earlier today, somebody hit me with the scientific documents, and I put it on in the think tank about how to get the graphene oxide out of you if you went and did the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So we need a double segregation now because we can't be around the dumb niggas and the dumb broads no more. It's over for them. Let them be. And this is why me and Hocus is talking about carpooling and going and getting it done, getting our Winnebagos and getting our shit together. And I'll be honest with you, we got a solid 2 years to get the fuck out these people's way to where we start our community and we like, yo, look, you either gonna kill 20,000 of us, but y'all not doing that to us. we need our own sustainable development, because we could talk forever, but if we not implementing a separation, it's time for a separation. And you know, one thing about what I've studied with Europeans is Europeans are game hunters. And the game hunter is going to hunt you, but the game hunter is going to give you a gun with enough bullets to kill each one of us. They like the challenge. They love the smart niggas. You know what I'm saying? But now, no one has risen as a leader to say, yo, let's get away from these dumb motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because at the heads of all of our religious movements, Jehovah's Witnesses, Christians, Islamic brothers,
Even the conscious community.
they're Masons. So I'm not saying that. My mother pointed out to me, she said the Masons used to be a good thing. When, you know, the Masons were just as respected as the Muslims. She said in the 60s and the 70s, it was good to see the brothers dressed up all together and all that. But in taking directives and orders, everybody's gotten quiet. And the thing that has to happen now is we need a double segregation for like-minded, because right now, you know, your own people will eat you, man. You know, you got the piranha, you got the sharks. You know, those are the ones that's gonna come rip you off for 20, 30,000 and take a kilo. You might live if you get bit by a shark, you might not. And then you got the piranha pool. And the piranhas, if you fall in that water, they just want to eat. They don't know why they want to eat, but they like meat, blood, get it. So we need a separation from the dumb motherfuckers. That's what it's about now. You got dumb blacks, you got dumb whites, you got dumb Latin people, and then you got the 1%. You got conscious Mexicans, conscious Indians. We just need a community that's kind of like Syracuse, where niggas on their vegan shit, and niggas got their dreads, and niggas are smoking weed and farming, and like the Amish community, but just for the thinkers. Because, yo, it felt, with all the knowledge we have, and with what was being proposed initially is coming back slowly now, it felt awful to be 20 years ahead and knew that this day would come, and they're implementing this stuff now. And the reason that they're implementing it is because they ran out of time. I don't know what happened with them and the sun, but them and the sun got beef, because what I do know is the plasma from the sun is just obliterating their sperm.
It's the rabbit hole, y'all. We start somewhere and it goes and we go down the hole. This is the rabbit hole.
Their sperm is being obliterated. And the thing about them is, see, I want to be careful with something here. See, everybody that thinks they're white is not white, but everybody wants to be on the winning team. Like the Germanic tribes that run the world, they'll do business with an Italian, but Italians are niggas to them.
That N-word is the only thing.
All right. When it comes down to DNA, those are the lightest melanated people you're gonna find.
Okay.
A lot of them could dance on beat. They grab their nuts all day. They have a heavy machismo about them. They are erratic like us. You know, when it comes to losing kingdoms, they act just like us. They had their hands in the cement business and the construction. They still do, but not like they were, because they were acting like us.
So Minnesota, I have a question for you, because you just said a whole lot, right? But you were starting with the chemicals, you were starting with the hormones, the plastic, all of those things that contribute to basically a reverse of the sexes. And I wanted to know if you feel that there's a way to correct that.
Well, I won't say correct, but I will say, one thing I found is what I learned from having that dialogue with my cousin that day on Thanksgiving. Because, you know, I mean, my mother is down with the soy boy and soy girl shit. She's one of the elders of it, right? But she doesn't broadcast it. And she was always conscious. So there's that conscious side that grounds her, even though, you know, she's like, my sexuality has nothing to do with what's going on in the world. And she tells me all the time, she said, I would have been devastated if you ain't bring all these grandchildren in here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it can be corrected. But for the parents now, it's being pushed in music, it's being pushed on TV. And what I would say is, what you can do is reaffirm with your kid twice a week what's right and what's wrong. Because while we're going all out to make sure our kids got $100 Nikes on, and you know, shopping at Gucci and Old Navy or Gap, whatever the fuck we're doing, we're so caught up in trying to provide them with what we didn't have that we're not providing them with the game. Like, yo, that's a man and that's a woman. And if they teach you that shit in school, tell them, get the fuck out of here. My son is going to get in trouble when they start that shit in school. Because I reaffirmed with him, I said, yo, let me know when they start. I said, I don't care if you get in trouble, but tell him your dad said it's only a man and a woman. So he's going to get in trouble in that class. And I want him to fail that class. Because y'all not going to, how are y'all going to give us 51 things? You know what I'm saying? And yo, listen, I was confronted by a 15-year-old who went crazy on me because I was scolding my kid, and I told him to stop acting like a bitch ass so-and-so. And she said, don't talk to him like that. What if he wants to come out one day? And I looked, I said, come out?
Come out? You mean go outside?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna love my child regardless, but I wouldn't want to have to give this nigga the Marvin Gaye package, the Marvin Gaye Senior package, because nigga, you my extension, you my reincarnation. Your name is a star. It ain't gonna be no, you know what I'm saying? So me and my son, and my girl gets on me sometimes about, but we have these real adult conversations about what's going on. Because I don't want nobody else to teach him. I want him to know, because I just saw a video and it fucked me up. Might have been about 3 days ago. It was two young boys on there, and they was talking that talk, and they was flashing a pistol, and they turned around and tongue kissed each other.
Oh, I seen that.
Yo.
Yeah, damn, what's that?
I was already sad because, like, you know, the youth.
Put the pistol to his face and stop playing with me. And he said, come over here. And they kissed. They really kissed. I'm like, yo.
And these two, if you were walking past them, sis, you would clutch your pocketbook harder like a white lady in Macy's. Because these two little motherfuckers had to look. And I'm gonna tell you the first, I want to thank if my daughter is watching, I want to thank you, because she was the first one that put me on to what was going on out here. And she'd be like, yo, dad, you see him? That's my friend. And I'm like, yo, I be seeing Shorty. He be, you know, freshly dressed. I see him, and he be having chicks. And she was like, nah, dad. She was like, he got the chicks because he don't want no chicks. And I said, what? And she was like, man, she said, all these niggas on, but half these niggas on Webster and Soundview is so-and-so, such and such. And they be gang members and all that. See, the girls know. The girls in the community know what's going on. Because my daughter put me on, and I was like, and I've never had the best relationship with my daughter. We trying to work on being, she's never listened to me. You know, she's wild. But, you know, she was the first one to put me on. And that's when I took notice, like, when you see certain brothers doing certain shit, that's because that's the woman in them doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Plugging in with fucking with people, bothering people, doing this and doing that. That's the woman in them doing that, man.
So you're telling me that if you change somebody's environment, you change their food, you change everything you were talking about, the chemicals, that can't change that person.
It's a chance. I'm saying this. What I'm saying is, what I'm really trying to say is this, right? I'm not gonna sit there and let no black woman get her head busted open, but at the same time, a hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. And I'm also saying 1992, we probably would have stomped that nigga and kicked him in the sewer for beating his wife. But now at this age, you might just let it do. And now at this age, it might be like, all right, he stopped slapping her. We ain't gonna do nothing to him. The attack is over. It's self-preservation now. And I'm wondering, like, damn, are we affected to a certain extent where that was unacceptable and we would have launched a Soviet attack on anybody doing that? And now is it that we're affected because we'll turn the other cheek to a certain extent? You know what I'm saying? Because all I'm saying is this: once they got your hormones are directives to the body. They are your thoughts. So if you're a boy that's loaded with estrogen, your wah wah as a baby is going to turn to wah wah. You know what I'm saying? So on a scientific level, I don't know if that would, matter of fact, sis, what you just said to me takes a lot of money to change the environment, change the eating habit.
Like a sex change, a literal sex change.
Right. Like if you had to, like that's like a rehabilitation center to turn you back heterosexual.
Wow.
It's like, yo, it's like that nigga got up on the YouTube and he was like, oh, no, I'm not gay no more. Woman. And he went viral. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you bring the men back? Everything has to run its course. I think we have a segment of us that's just going. And this is why it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller for a woman to find a calibrated man. Now, I do believe in polygamy on the premise of reproducing, not for frivolous sex, not for oh yo, I got 2 girls. Because I don't want my 2 girls to be kissing. I don't want my 4 wives to be laid in bed. I'm jumping into European perversions. That's not what it's for. And let me tell you something. So far as I know, polygamy was created by the elder sisters in the tribes when the tribe went off the war, and it was always more women than men. So you got 60,000. You got 60,000 women in the tribe, and you had 30,000 men. The war breaks out. 15,000 of the men is dead. Now you come back. You got 15,000 men and 60,000 women in the tribe. The elder women of the tribe, who are the better thinkers, say, yo, look, y'all niggas is gonna take 6 wives apiece, and y'all gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So we're in that same kind of war with, and don't know we at war, and we don't have the thought process of community building. And community building is getting our numbers up. Because we get our numbers up, they just got to drop bombs on us. That's all they left with. So they made some mistakes in this thing. They sat us in the house for 2 years, right? When they sat us in the house, and this is just how energy works, over 1 million Black and Latin men became stockbrokers, and they're making money off of the stock market. And the little fucking kids were fucking. My daughter's 21. I got my first grandchild. You know what I'm saying? So you sat everybody in the house for a year. What did you think they want to do? They stressed, they depressed, they can't go outside. They had to indulge in entertainment, sexual entertainment. They're young, they did what they had to do. Now, where I see this going is this, right? They got the men and women at odds.
Yeah. They
got now, and this is my message to the brothers out here. If get a girl, it's time to get it. I know it's crazy for us as a man. It's so easy to get a woman now. It's ridiculous because the women are hurting. The woman don't got nobody. There's so many beautiful women that don't have no, quote unquote, I know bad bitches don't got nobody. Nobody. They got somebody to come over and tighten them up. But it's a bad position right now. Nobody got men. Everybody's having a free for all. So where we're headed, I don't know if you'll remember in like 2013, the system, for 1 week, they put out a new disease and then they took it off the market. Hocus, sweetheart, do you remember what it was?
You said in 2013?
Yeah, there was a disease that came out and it just got off of TV and they never spoke on it again.
Ebola?
No. And when I remind y'all gonna be like, yeah. It was called the superbug. And what it was an age that would, if you have sex with a person, it would kill you in 72 hours.
Oh, I remember. You're right. I do remember them saying that. I do. I remember that article. Right. I think I even posted it. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So they put it out. It was all over the news nationwide, and then it just disappeared. Because everybody was like, oh, word, man. Now you. So now, I want to say more so than ever now, if you are asthmatic, if you have high blood pressure, whatever you have, it is really a time. If you want to live, you're going to have to go vegan. And the vegan food is hit too. But I find one of the most weaponized things right now to be bread, cheese, milk.
Yes.
And these things are weaponized because I was a member of, when I was living in Brooklyn, I was a member of something. My mother tried to put me onto it in the 80s, right? And I was like, oh man, forget that vegan shit, Umi. So the place was called the Food Co-op in Brooklyn. And the Food Co-op is in Park Slope on 7th Avenue. I can't think of the cross street, but I was a member of it, right? And they were getting their food from local farms, and they were trying their best to keep their quality up. So what they would do is, if a brand became bad, they would get rid of it. They had soy milk, they got rid of soy milk once they found out the soy was fucked up. They started losing so many products that they started keeping some. So now that I'm a person that reads the labels, and then I'll ask my phone, what are the side effects of soy lecithin? What are the side effects of this? And Google will start going crazy. And I just be looking at my phone like, damn, you can't eat nothing. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to live to an old age, now is a real time to become a full vegan, to the point where you're not even eating bread. You may do hemp milk. It's just bad. You might make your cashew milk at home. It's very bad out here. And it's bad because I gotta say something. Why the fuck would we allow them to start feeding us fake foods in the first place?
Right.
The way they did it was, oh, that got PCBs, this got MSGs, this got da-da-da. They started lining us up with these 3-letter words. So when we heard GMOs, oh, that's GMO. We didn't think nothing of it. But now what a GMO is, a genetically modified organism.
Yeah.
It's food made, as of right now, we all saw the video with the Asians putting the needle into the chicken and swelling it up. So now every one of us has went to the diner and had that rubbery turkey burger, that extra chewy chicken. And what we were eating was soy. So we saw them shooting the needle. We didn't know what it was. I'm here to tell you that it's soy and probably some other shit. And all the dumb motherfuckers that ran and was like, love and that chicken and Popeyes. right before the first situation popped off.
Yo, that chicken sandwich, yo, I can't.
Right before the situation popped off, everybody ran in that direction. And there was some other things. There was one morning, and this is 1 month before it really got crazy. And there was it was like lavender skies, and they blamed it on jet fuel. And I have to say, the other problem is once again, when I say these things don't work together, but they work towards a certain goal, the geoengineering program is the depopulation program. Chemtrails are, if you look at some of the chemicals in chemtrails, right? Barium, strontium, chromium, aluminum, and I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record because I always talk about this.
Same thing that's inside the.
Each one of these chemicals, if you look up what are the side effects of barium, what are the side effects of chromium, what are the side effects of aluminum? Aluminum lowers your immune system. So I understand that we're trying to stop global warming, Mr. G, and you want to help the planet, but isn't aluminum lowering our immune systems? Don't you have money tied up in this thing that's about to hit us?
Global warming, yeah, exactly. Everything you just named is inside the thing that they're trying to stick inside of us.
Not what. This is another thing for everybody that went out here and did the dumb shit to themselves. Not once did they get on and say, yo, you could knock that shit out with dandelion and wormwood.
They ain't gonna take that.
Not once did they come on. Not once did they say, yo, shit is a little fucked up. Yo, get on your elderberry. Not once did they come out and say, yo, we're not getting the minerals. So, get your purple sea moss, your Chandra's Christmas, make sure it's from St. Lucia. Not once did they say this. And y'all born again Christians, y'all Muslims, y'all conscious niggas went and did this shit. Y'all went into a parking lot and let a person with a Halloween mask on come up to you and pinch you.
Y'all really, I want to say y'all don't believe in God, man. Y'all really don't. Y'all act like y'all do, and y'all want to make it seem like y'all other than thou. You know what I mean? Like y'all holier than thou and all that, but y'all don't believe in God. If you did, then you will have really faith in your God and not take that.
And they sat there and they're telling niggas, you don't have no symptoms, but you could be sick.
Yo, that's the craziest thing ever.
And you believe
but it's a virus too, called virus, not just like a something simple, right? A virus, the deadliest virus.
Deadly virus.
So the deadliest ever, if you count history, right? Since the bubonic plague or whatever that is, so I think that was a hoax too now. But
so if you are a person that doesn't read, me, Hocus, and this sister, and others like us, and on other channels, we're here to enlighten you. I really want to build with that brother Yahi, you know what I'm saying, or Yaki, whatever his name is.
Who's that?
I want to build with him, you know what I'm saying. But I will say this, Hope, man, like people don't understand that the real war is on a biological level, a cellular level, and these are on a biological and a cellular level. This is where the real war is taking place, because I tell you, they got me one time when I was in Brownsville. There was this little spot on Belmont, and I would go in there and they was like, oh, plant-based burger. And they got me like a sucker. I ate it. Listen, I ate it one time, right? And it was the best burger I had in my motherfucking life, right? And with everything that was going on in my life, for 2 weeks, I couldn't get back to the burger to get it. So I said, why am I craving this fucking burger? I said, I never ate a burger in my life that had me feeling like this about it. So here I go, I start digging. And I come across a word called CRISPR-Cas9. And I start to find out that this Impossible Burger and this Beyond Meat, it wasn't plant-based, it wasn't meat-based, it was genetically modified yeast. And what it does is it gets in your body and re-edits your DNA cells to age faster and accept cancer cells.
You know why they're able to put plant-based on there? And because they take the hemoglobin out of the soy, right? And then they put it in there, and that's what give it the red color too, that red burgery color, and that's what also that's a artificial flavoring, like MSG, like it's more addictive. That's why you was
right.
You was
so now I'm craving this fucking burger and I couldn't get to it. And then when I researched it, and as I'm reading, I'm finding PDFs and I'm reading. Yeah, I felt like a public bathroom. I felt violent. I felt like throwing up. And I was like, damn, like, you know, so I went on to find that you got to keep eating it to be fucked up. But then I find out that Cas9 and CRISPR is in yogurt. You gotta look up what are other names for Cas9 and CRISPR and what foods is it in? Because they got it in the, see, one thing I want to say about these people, and I need everybody to understand this that's listening, is the Germanic tribes are the most honest people on earth. And people are like, oh, you bugging, conscious people tell me you bugging, what you mean by that? Everybody remember Batman's enemy, the Riddler?
Yep.
Their religion, astrotheology, as above, so below, as within, so without, their religion, they code everything, but they give you the truth. Because they also believe that if we don't get the people into the subconscious acceptance of it, everything's going to go wrong for us. So everything they're going to do, they've showed us already.
Yes, that's true. So true.
There's a sci-fi book that was written in 1969 and it was released in 1972. The book was called The Report from Iron Mountain. The fucking report from Iron Mountain details everything that is going on now. And in the book, The Report from Iron Mountain, world leaders got together and they said, what would happen if we reinstated slavery? And they came to the conclusion that people would fight, people would die, but then they would fall back in line and they would do what we want them to do. So I tell people right now, we in a bad sci-fi movie. We're in the beginning of I Am Legend. And I Am Legend, the one we saw with Will Smith, that's part 3. We in part 1. And we're in part 1 of Children of Men. Children of Men, that was part 3, when they were fighting and nobody can have children. Because another thing that the GMO foods are doing, and especially Impossible Burgers and Beyond Meat, these foods are spermicides. They're going in and they're killing sperm cells.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman's stomach is riddled with fibroids, listen, it's so crazy, right? The attack is on the woman's fallopian tubes, and the other attack is on the men's sperm and the men's nuts.
Yeah.
They say, what's the cervical cancer that they say you got to get checked for? Let us stick something up your joint to find out if you're all right.
You talking about from men? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what is the joint for men?
Oh,
Get your prostate.
Yeah.
Prostate cancer.
So prostate cancer is coming from you niggas running around fucking with mad chicks. And you got your condoms on. This is why I say get a girl and chill. Because you're running, and the way, look how good it's set up. Right now, it's a time for men to have plenty of women. But you're running around with the condoms, you smash your mad joints. There's a chemical in condoms. This one alone, I don't even know what else they put in now. Minoxidil 9 sterilizes you. And the Minoxidil 9 gives you cancer of the fucking nuts. And this is what you fucking with. And this is what the girls is letting the nigga jam them up with. Instead of just getting a man and chilling, they running around sleeping with everything and wondering why they getting yeast infections. You done had 9 different condoms up in you this week, sis.
That is so true, though. That is so true. That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why the guys got, well, if you 40, you 50, and they should just say, if you 40, you 50, and you wear condoms all the time, and you've been fucking with bad bitches, you might have nut cancer from the condom. That's how the commercial should really go. So,
man.
I would say this, man. Brothers, right, niggas and bitches, whatever the fuck. It's time for y'all to get together and get a girl. It's not a time to run around hitting everything, smashing everything. These people ain't playing with us. And any opening you have in your body, they will try and get in it. I don't give a fuck if it's your ear, your nose, your mouth, your glands, your fucking ass. What's the first thing they tell us to go get. Yo, go get toilet paper. Anything that goes in your ass goes directly in your bloodstream. It wastes no time. That's why the Cherry Squad, when they use their drugs, they get high as a motherfucker because they take their drugs and they put them up the book chute.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I want to say real quick? I was blowing my nose the other day. I was getting allergies, but I noticed that the tissue, like it's like a white substance that keep coming up and it kept making me sneeze. I'm like, and then I stopped using the toilet paper and I started using the napkins. I was like, I'm like, yo, this tissue was making me sneeze. I know what it was. It's like, you see it, like it's like a little fluffiness coming off the tissue.
Right. So, the thing with them is they're going to attack every opening in your body. So you almost got to be like, that 144,000 they talk about in the Bible? That ain't you niggas going to church every Sunday.
It ain't you.
That ain't you niggas going to the mosque. That's really the critical thinkers. Because, when you armed with information, like it's shit that, I used to love soy patties. I'm not going to front. I was drowning soy patties. I was like, oh, this shit is good. And then I found out, and I didn't even know, my father's mother died from cancer, right? And she was vegan her whole life. And she would get mad because when all the kids would come over to the house, I made it my business to go in there and heat up grandma's soy patties and destroy them shits. And unbeknownst to me at that time, soy has cancer. Soy is cancer. It is. You know what I'm saying? You got that shit in your bloodstream. You got 30-year-old niggas having heart attacks now. And I want to say something else, right? And this is a hard one for everybody to digest. Food-wise, everybody should be seeking out pure Ethiopian cayenne pepper.
I love cayenne pepper. Okay.
Never take cayenne pepper on an empty stomach, or you will feel how a woman feels when she has a period. Right.
She looking like, what? That's true?
Not for me. So, that's a whole.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you're not supposed to take cayenne pepper without food.
I get what you're saying. I get what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Even if you ate an apple, because that shit, man, it ain't gonna kill you, but you're gonna suffer for like 15 to 30 minutes, and then you'll be all right.
Yo, look, Minnie, I don't want to give them all on one day because you gonna be our guest up here.
You said a lot.
Nah, I got. You know what? My whole thing is this, Hocus, man. Like, I got a ton of this shit, man, and I've really been slacking on research. The way I research now is I study human behavior. I haven't really been reading as much as I should. The last book I had in here was Manly P. Hall, and it's all about Freemasonry. And I loved it because it adds on to how the tanks work and attacking us. And, organized groups is a real thing. You can't run a planet without organized groups. So for all y'all people that's like, we're conspiracy theorists, y'all niggas is just dumb. And we're gonna throw y'all away. Because all the conscious people are gonna come together and leave y'all ratchet motherfuckers right where y'all at, because we need double segregation now. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, if we got some smart Europeans, like, really, the show is about to get started and the show is about to end because white people are waking up now. And them motherfuckers, they march. Hell no, we won't go. They're waking up now. So that's a part of the society we needed to wake up, because a lot of them are in prominent financial positions. And since they're dwindling, the smart ones are saying, yo, wait a minute, we need the niggers now. We got
No, not the.
Okay.
No, but look, we don't want to give it. We don't want to give it all away right now. Anyway, we gonna get back up here. Back
to the soy. So back to
look. I wanna cut it now, and then I'm telling you, this is gonna be a regular thing.
Okay.
Let's in closing though, about the Soul Boys. Go ahead. I want you to close it out with that.
But what you said about the soy mafia?
Yeah, just I want you to close it out with your thoughts on the Soy Boys and Kid Cudi and Russell Westbrook wearing the dress,
Well, look, right.
just being put down our
I would
throats.
say this. I want to say this, right? Number one, everybody wants to be on the winning team. You can turn people into things with finance. You can pay men to be killers that never killed nobody. You could get, you pay people, they put the dress on in the Hollywood movie. Thank you to Dave Chappelle, who stood up and said, not only did he not put the dress on, the nigga broke all the rules and said, yo, and he made a joke of it. He gave it to us. You got a lot of people that are putting us on code. And, even though Kanye stole my beat, I mean, I love him because he's playing crazy right now. But in his game of playing crazy, he's giving us mad codes and mad jewels because he has to put this acting thing on to give us the jewels. And people didn't understand a lot of the things the nigga said. Excuse me. People didn't understand a lot of the things that he said. So we have agents in the community. And that's in the rap community, that's in the sex community, that's in the food community, that's in the conscious community. If you read this book, the Tavistock Institute for Human Relations, they said we are in the schools, we are in the barbershops. They said we have to be in every aspect of the poor community. We're in the gangs, like they are all over, causing contention. They said we cannot give them time to think or they will overthrow us.
Solution. Give us a solution to end it off with. What do we do?
So I would say you're better uninformed than misinformed. So one thing I will say, I think we need to become electronic vegans. And it's okay if you're on TikTok watching people tell you about severe shit, but the first thing we need to do is study people and reinstate the moral compass. And what the moral compass is this. If you're a cop and the sergeant and the captain tells you, I want you to go over there and those people are growing vegetables. I want you to tear their yard up. I want you to look the fucking sergeant and the captain in his face and say, kiss my ass. I'm not going to tear down nobody's garden, whether they're black or white. We need to reinstate the moral compass. That's one. Number two, I don't know if there's a cure to bring a soy boy back to liking cha-cha. And I don't know if there's a cure to bring a soy girl or estrogen girl back into liking cucumber. What I will say is being armed with this information, which I want to say again, these two chemicals, BPA, which is bisphenol A, and estrogen, and BPA, which is synthetic estrogen, and it causes cancer. And I want to say this to anybody who may be in that life, who may be a soy boy or an estrogen girl. Research what I said tonight. Research BPA, bisphenol A, and research BPA, bisphenol A. Research the chemicals atrazine, which is switching around your DNA from male to female and female to male. Because you're not actually a soy boy. You're not actually an estrogen girl. You're chemically induced. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, a person that's in that life is not going to see this as a problem. Mm. But I kid you not, today and tomorrow, if you said, I'm going to have 5 kids, they would outlaw you. They would burn you at the stake. Mm. You are compatible to the agenda because you're not breeding offspring.
Right.
That's it. They don't like you. They're funding you.
Look, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there.
Really good. Really good.
We're gonna leave it there. We gave y'all a lot. You know what I mean? We don't want to flood y'all with too much in one day. Minnie, my brother, thanks for coming up for
Absolutely.
the first episode down in Rabbit Hole. I hope y'all, I know y'all gonna be informed with all this information. And I hope y'all follow suit out there, man. And y'all do what y'all gotta do, man. and fight this war with us. Be on the side of freedom. That's all I say. Minnie, I'm gonna scream at you.
All right, home team.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, peace, sis.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. What you thought?
Oh man, I mean, he's right. He's right. He broke it down scientifically why people, because people think it's natural, and I'm tired of people saying that. This many people that just didn't come out and be gay. Like, let's be real. I'll be homosexual, or whatever word you want to use. I don't know what word is offensive nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely chemicals in the food, chemicals in the water. It's manipulation through television, through cartoons.
Yeah.
Kids. I mean, it shows that they even trying to have classes, without the parent consent. Like, you're gonna tell me what's good for my child. I mean, it's basically the same thing with the, thing they want to stick in all of us. They want to tell us what's good for our kids and what's good for us, and don't want us to know what's good for us. So, yeah, I think Minnesota hit a lot of good topics. What you take from that?
I think he was well informed and he stated a lot of facts. But I definitely don't want to leave people in this doomsday mentality that they can't do anything, right? Because, as a nutritionist myself, there are a lot of ways that you could change the chemicals that are going into your body. You could change your hormones by what you eat. And that's why, people that want a sex change, they literally will put more estrogen in a man and more testosterone in a woman. And that does change a lot about you, but you can reverse that yourself. You know what I mean? By what you're eating, definitely. But also, I was going to say, we were talking about environment just now, and you were talking about what the music you're listening to, right? Because all of these things, the books, the television, the movies, it's normalizing this behavior. So if we're normalizing it, then we're saying, okay, this is okay. And we're going to make this the typical for everyone, right? But if you change that environment, you're not letting your kids listen to that music or watch those movies or go to those schools. I honestly, my personal opinion, I don't think kids should be in public schools. I think people should find a way to educate their kids, unless their parents are doing a job where they're educating their kids at home, and then you send them to school. Okay. But if you're not doing that, then they shouldn't be in those schools, because they're going to get a miseducation. And he did say it's better to be uninformed than misinformed. I don't know how much I agree with that. I don't think you should be uninformed or misinformed. They're both equally bad to me. But I feel like people should take on the responsibility, the job, and accountability to educate not only themselves, but also their children, because nobody's going to do it for you. If you put your children in anyone else's hands, most likely they're going to be miseducated or led down a path that is not good for them, not healthy for them, not the best for them. So, but you have to educate yourself in order to educate your children. And that's why, he was just talking about during COVID, all of these people are having sex and they're having more children right now, right? And I'm thinking, since COVID, all I did was get educated. I'm reading books every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. So much is going on. I can't even mentally be in a place to sit here and have sex and entertainment and have fun, because I'm focused on maintaining my physical health, maintaining my spiritual health, maintaining my everything. So I don't have time to do all that. So I think that's really what it takes is not just the chemicals in the food. That's a big thing, but it's also the environment. So we have to think about it, collectively. All those things work together in unison. Who they're talking to, who they're around. I don't trust the teachers, to be honest. And I'm not saying and of course, I'm not generalizing everybody, because there are good teachers. I know some good teachers, but then there are a lot of teachers who don't want to be there, and that they have their own agenda too. So we have to be leery of those things as well. I just wanted to add that.
Oh, you're definitely right, man. We know, because we was programmed as kids. We had to break free from this program in order to see it, So I think the next age of kids, like our kids, and I know you don't have kids, but you know what I mean when I say our kids.
Not yet. You gotta say not yet.
Not yet, but I mean like kids that's in this world now, that's growing up, are the ones who for the future is gonna be here. It's gonna be much different with people like us on this planet. And we got to do this work, y'all. This is the rabbit hole. If you're watching this, you are considered a rabbit hole light worker. You are officially a rabbit hole light worker. And what does that mean? That means that you came to shed light in this world. You went down a rabbit hole, and you come down a rabbit hole with us, and you learn new information, Even if it's same information, you're here, you're teaching information, you're sharing it like we sharing it. And on that note, we signing off for the first episode of Down the Rabbit Hole 4/5 with balance. Peace.
Peace.